Today I wanted to talk in detail about Bryan's move UF222, which is in my opinion a very underrated move in his kit, so let's dive into it and take a closer look. So let's talk about the basics first. This move is a mid that comes out in 13 frames and is delayable. So you can throw the move out like this, up forward 222, or you can throw it out like this, up forward 222, and so on. Like there are different variations to delay the string. One thing that is also important to note is that the first 3 hits of this move are jailing, so the opponent cannot sidewalk in between those hits, only if you reach the 3rd hit or if you stop in between. But the best part about the string is that you can hit confirm it, so if you see the first 3 hits, like one of the first 3 hits connect, you can just finish the whole string without having to risk that your opponent blocks the last hit, which will end up in you being -15 and getting launch punished by the opponent. And to train that, you can just set your opponent to random block and get a feeling for this yourself. The main reason against using this move is that the first 3 hits are all -10 and afterward it becomes -12. So your opponent is able to punish you here. But because this is a string that is delayable and we can throw it out in different patterns, it builds mental frames. And if your opponent is 1 frame too late for the first 3 hits, which are -10, then he will not be able to punish you, making it kind of safe for you. So you have to play around with this, throw it out in different patterns, test your opponent's patience, see how he reacts to this, if he can punish this comfortably, if not, throw it out more, and so on. And now we come to the tracking property of this move, which is basically insane. This move tracks into any direction. So if we set them to side step left, then you will see Bryan catches them, sidewalk left the same. And if we go to the weak side, which is if they step to the right, the first hit will whiff, but if you keep throwing out more punches, Bryan will realign with the opponent. Same goes for sidewalk right. If you keep throwing out more punches, Bryan will eventually realign with the opponent, which makes this move behave like a homing one. But you have to be careful though, because if you throw out the upward 2 a bit too late, then your opponent is able to fully sidewalk you here and launch punish you for that. So keep that in mind and throw out the upward 2 immediately on block, so it keeps tracking. Another great property about this move is that it hits extremely low. So if you play against characters like Xiaoyu or Zafina that enter very low evasive stances that also crush mids, upward 2-2-2-2-3 will still catch them regardless. Now we come to my favorite part, and also the part that in my opinion really shows that the risk reward for this move in the right situation is so incredibly strong that it's almost a no-brainer to go for it more often. And that's because this move triggers a wall splat if you're at a specific distance to the wall, which you can convert into a full combo that takes off almost 40% HP without using any resources like heat or rage. It's also very important to know that after the 3rd hit, your opponent will float, something like this or like this. And that is very important for situations like these, where the full string does not convert into a combo anymore, and instead you will have to leave out the last hit, let your opponent float, and then catch them with a tornado move. If you land this move in neutral, it also sets up taunt OP or other strong OP options. My ideal situations to use this move are frame trap scenarios near the wall. That's where the risk reward ratio is so good that I love throwing it out every now and then, especially against opponents who like to step a lot or when I have no idea which direction they're trying to step next. And because the move comes out in 13 frames, it is not only a tracking move, it also serves as a mid check right here after back 1 or hatchet kick, heat engage, all that stuff. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Hope it helped, and if you got any questions or your own thoughts on the move, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. Have a good one.